Okay, folks, we have been reading a lot of fiction books lately, and fiction means that they were made up. Some of them were stories that could happen, but they didn't really happen. Some of them were fantasies that could never really happen in real life. But today we're going to read a book that is nonfiction. Nonfiction might be a word you're not familiar with, so let's break it apart to see what it means. Non means not, and fiction means made up. So a nonfiction book is a book that is not made up. It's true stuff. Nonfiction books are awesome because you can learn a whole bunch about the real world when you read a nonfiction book. And to help us understand nonfiction books, authors use a lot of really cool things called text features. These are things that are not just the words in the text, but other things that help us to understand the book and to make it more fun and interesting. Here are some text features you might see in a book. Maps, charts, pictures or photographs. You might see captions. These are words around the picture that explain what the picture is about. You could see a table of contents. This is at the beginning of the book and tells you what pages have certain information. You might see an index. This is like a table of contents, but it's at the end of the book. So if you're reading about jets and you want to know who invented the first jet, you can look in the table of contents or the index to see where to find that information. And last, you may see labels. They may have a picture of something that you've not seen before, and they may draw lines to certain parts of the picture and then have words to tell you what those parts are. These are not all of the text features you might see, and you will probably not see every one of these in a nonfiction book, but there are some that you may see. So before we start reading, let's do a picture walk. We're going to read the book Spinning a Web. If you look at the cover, I bet you can already figure out what this book is going to be about. So this will not be a made-up story about spiders. This will be true information about spiders. Let's do a picture walk and look for text features. Look. Table of contents. This tells me if I want to see what spiders look like, I can look on page 1. If I want to see how spiders use their webs, I can look on page 12. So a table of contents is really helpful. What text feature do we see here? A picture. Oh, look, more pictures. And here I have a label. It tells me what kind of spider this is. I have a label here too, telling me the kind of spider that this one is. More pictures, more labels, more pictures and more labels. Have I seen any maps yet? No, not yet. More pictures and labels. Pictures, labels. More pictures and more labels. And look at the very end what I see, the index. So if there's certain information I want to find, I know where to look to find it. We didn't see any maps, we didn't see any charts, we didn't see any captions, but we saw lots of pictures, lots of labels, a table of contents, and an index. 4 text features in this book. I think you're going to enjoy the book. Spiders are strange-looking creatures. Maybe you've seen a spider like this one before. A spider isn't an insect. It's an arachnid. Arachnid. It has 2 body parts and it has 8 legs. Whoa. Count the legs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Some spiders even have 8 eyes. Whoa. Some spiders live in holes or burrows. Some spiders live in the water. I've never seen a water spider, so I've already learned something new in this book. That's the great thing about nonfiction. You can learn all sorts of awesome stuff. And some spiders live in tunnels like this trapdoor spider. Can you see the trapdoor at the top? Some spiders can jump, and some spiders can swim. Ooh, that's cool. Lots of spiders spin webs. They make their webs from silk that comes from inside their bodies. On this picture, you see a picture of a very dangerous kind of spider called a black widow spider. They have a black body and this little red-looking hourglass. If you see this kind of spider, stay away. It's very, very poisonous. You can find webs in lots of places. If you go out in the early morning and there's still dew on the ground, a lot of times you'll see webs like this with dew caught on the web. They're really pretty. Spiders spin many different kinds of webs. Look at this web. I've seen lots like this before. Look at this one. Here's another, and here is another. The spider uses its web to catch insects for food. Maybe you've seen a spider catch an insect and spin it up like this before. Spiders are not insects, but they do eat insects. You know, I told you there's not a caption, but guess what? Here is one. The spider uses its web to catch insects for food. This is actually a caption because it's described in the picture. The male spider is a lot smaller than the female. He visits the female's web to mate. The female spider then spins an egg sac in which the baby spiders grow. It's a black widow again. Maybe you've seen an egg sac like this before. After a few days, the baby spiders called spiderlings are ready to leave the egg sac. And look, all of these little baby spiders called spiderlings coming out of the sac. Soon, the growing spiderlings are ready to swing from their own silky threads. To make webs of their very own. So I hope that you enjoyed this nonfiction book with lots of true information in it. And I hope that when you have the chance, you will go out and find another nonfiction book of your own to read and learn all sorts of things about another interesting topic. Thanks, guys.